Political conventions are more than just rah-rah sessions for believers and slamming sessions to deride the competition. They are also a time when candidates and their supporters strategically let slide what's to come in the general election. Drop a few teasers about what the battle will include, but without necessarily giving away the farm. In a season where immigration, legal and illegal, tops the presidential Richter scale for so many people on both sides, Democratic vice presidential candidate Tim Kaine either let one slip by accident or shoveled it right into the faces of Republicans everywhere. And there is no doubt whatsoever he has tossed down an immigration gauntlet that sooner or later Donald Trump and Mike Pence will pick up. Let us not forget that this is something that we certainly expect, because this is, after all, a political convention. Let's get to work, all right? A pleasure to welcome back the veteran political commentator who knows more about the inside beltway aspects of politics than most of the so-called experts. Author of Lessons My Father Taught Me, The Strength, Integrity, and Faith of Ronald Reagan, son of the former president, Michael Reagan, joins us once again. Michael, good to talk to you. Let's go ahead and get to work here and get right to what I talked about. Senator Tim Kaine vowed that a Clinton administration would begin work on comprehensive immigration reform in the first 100 days. Bam! He drops the hammer right there and says, this is the work we're going to. Isn't this just great politics, no matter how you slice it? This is what the game is all about.
Well, this is what the game's all about, and they look at the polls, and they say, listen, Donald Trump has most of the white voters are in Donald Trump's corner. We have to go after the immigrants and those that are out there that are ours to take. And so they promise, what, in the first 100 days, they're going to legalize illegals. But what is funny about this, and I, in fact, tweeted it at Reagan World with an LOL in front of it, I said, but he's going to get the Speaker of the House and the Republicans who are going to help him, in fact, pass this comprehensive immigration reform by legalizing the illegals that are already in the United States of America. Everybody on the planet knows that is just never, ever going to happen.
Isn't it fair to say, Michael, that if the Republicans want to strike back, certainly Donald Trump will hit back on this on Twitter. He'll nail this in his speeches all the time. Kaine will be out there. But the people that I've spoken to in the last several months, you have people who came to America legally. You have people from South American countries, you have Mexico, European countries, whatever. But specifically, let's focus on Mexico, because that's what Donald Trump will do. People who have been here for a long time and they're here legally, a lot of these are even angry that those who are in this country illegally are going to automatically get to become citizens, when these are the people who spend so much time waiting, pining, wanting to be here as part of America. Shouldn't they be bringing these people out and saying, look, we're Mexicans, we're immigrants, we're people who have been here, we've done the work, even we don't think this is a good idea?
I will tell you why they don't do that. For the same reason black Americans will not come out and say they're supportive of Republicans and Republican ideas, because they'll be ostracized within their own community. And so they have the Hispanic community going through the same thing. If they step up and say, wait a minute, we support Donald Trump, we support Republicans, there is a real problem when you bring illegals in to take our jobs. They will be ostracized within their own community. I was talking to my wife earlier today, we were talking about this very issue, and we have a dear friend of ours from Munich, Germany, who's been married, been in the United States for 20 years, has yet to be able to get a visa, has yet to be able to become American citizen. That's our problem, that it takes, longer or so long to become an American citizen. It forces people to break the law, come across the border into a country when it's going to take 15 or 20 years to, in fact, become an American citizen.
Okay, stop right there. We talked about this very thing today. Why is it then that on the left, on the right, in the middle, it makes no difference where it is? You'll never hear a politician say, our system stinks. We haven't done it right for decades. We're the ones that have caused this logjam. We're the ones that are making this whole issue an issue at this point. We got to fix this from the bottom up. Nobody seems to talk about that, Michael. That's the radioactive kryptonite they don't want to touch.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And the reality of it is, what a lot of people don't know, maybe you do know, I don't know about your listening audience, but if someone comes to the United States of America and wants to become an American citizen, depending on where you are coming from, there could be anywhere between 10, 15, and 20 years added to your wait time to become a citizen of the United States of America, just because of where you're from.
I don't think people quite understand that, but nobody wants to make a big issue out of it. So you and I will discuss this as we move down the road. Frankly, I'd like to hear more people talking about it because our immigration system has stunk and stunk the joint up for decades, going back to the 70s, and nobody wants to talk about that. Okay, enough of that. Let me get to you on this. The FBI warned the Hillary Clinton campaign, lots of lawmakers in recent months, they were being targeted by hackers. We have the WikiLeaks hack that's out there right now. We have the Russians, whether they did it, whether they got the WikiLeaks hacks, makes no difference, but they throw it out there at just exactly the right time. Michael, how scared do you think that Hillary Clinton and the DNC are, maybe even the RNC, that there's more coming? And from now until November, we're going to have to deal with this, and this can come up and derail either one of these campaigns at a split second.
Oh, absolutely right. You look what's going on with the Democrats right now, and this whole program going on with their convention and the Bernie Sanders and his followers and the emails that they're able to see now and be able to read. I think it shocked the DNC. I don't think I was shocked. I don't think you were shocked. I think they were shocked that these came out, and it really made the point for Director Comey a couple of weeks ago when he was talking about Hillary Clinton and her email and was it hacked, was it not hacked? I think we can all agree now. Hillary Clinton's emails were in fact hacked, just like the DNC. And finally Bernie Sanders gets his wish by the head of the DNC finally stepping down after this convention. But it doesn't change the dynamic. This can derail completely Hillary Clinton in the run-up to the White House. And I bet you the Republicans are doing everything they can right now to make sure it doesn't happen to them, too.
I bet you the Republicans right now are working the dark internet. They're trying to find out who has got the documents and how quickly they can get them out there, or if they can schedule them. Let's be honest. Hey, let's talk about a couple of states here. Peter King says New York is in play, which has got a bunch of people raising eyebrows. Let's look at the current polling from the two biggest blue states in the country right now, because this speaks a little bit to what you have said and others have said as well, that California is in play. Seriously? I got to question you on this, because the state treasurer, John Chang, said California is Donald Trump's worst nightmare. And when we look at the poll averages, Hillary's got a 54-31 lead there and a 52-34 lead in New York. How can these states be in play, Michael?
No, I never said California was in play. What I said, California doesn't have a Republican Party.
Okay.
Can come to the dance, and the fact the RNC forgot about California years ago. They don't spend any money in California, and Donald Trump shouldn't spend any money here in California either. Spend it in states that he has a possibility of, in fact, winning, the Ohios, the Floridas, and what have you, which he needs to win in the general election. I think New York becomes in play because Donald Trump is from New York. And I think that dynamic can change because of where he is, who he is, and what he is, and what he means to the New Yorkers. I mean, Hillary's never created a job anywhere, and Trump's created jobs everywhere, especially in New York. So I think that does come into play. But California will never come into play.
I'm glad you basically straightened that out, because I said, come on, we've got to get serious here. There's no way you spend money there and make a buck. 2 minutes we got left here. Bill Clinton speaks tonight. He is going to endorse, he is going to talk about his wife. He's going to say that she's the best president of the United States possible. But she's got to align with Bill Clinton. That in itself is a little dicey, isn't it, when you get down to Bill Clinton and his history?
Yeah, it does get a little bit dicey. Bill Clinton isn't the Bill Clinton of 4 years ago or 8 years ago when he stood up at conventions and spoke about the nominee of the party. A lot of the wind has gone out of Bill's sails. And also, remember, when he gets up and speaks, you can't help but remember that meeting he had on the tarmac there in Arizona. And that's got to come up, not in his speech, but in the answers to that speech from the Republicans and from the pundits that are, in fact, out there. And I don't know if it's a great idea for him to be able to speak, because remember also the millennials, those who support Bernie Sanders, they go like, and who is Bill Clinton? I mean, they don't know who Bill Clinton is. It's like Republicans, and the millennials, and say to them, oh, we want to be just like Ronald Reagan. Who is Ronald Reagan? And so I don't think Bill Clinton helps so much his own wife getting to the White House, because I think there's a lot of people say, we may want her in the White House, but I don't know if the White House wants him back.
And I think that's possibly what a lot of people are thinking, because you're going to get her as president, and a former president, and the discussions back and forth. Oh my goodness, let's stop there. I think we're going to get the vapors. A reminder once again, the book is Lessons My Father Taught Me, The Strength, Integrity, and Faith of Ronald Reagan. It's a wonderful story told by a very loving son about a very loving father. Michael Reagan, always a pleasure, my friend. Thanks so much for joining us. We'll talk to you soon. Let's go ahead and bring you up to date on some of the numbers right here, because they are actually putting the delegates in place right now in Philadelphia. 2,382 are the delegates needed to win. At this moment, here's what's happening in Philadelphia. Hillary Clinton, 2,091. Bernie Sanders, 1,337. They've got 1,335 delegates remaining, and the number 2091 for Hillary, so she is less than 300 delegates away. If it happens during our show, you'll see it. All right, stick around. The political animal comes up next as we continue on The Hardline.